Angular has two different chain detection strategies. The first one is default and the second one is on push. The default chain detector mode will be set to check always, and this is by default chain detector strategy. Chain detector mode will check once on the on push strategy. Let us focus mainly on the default chain detector strategy, and we have created the component, that is the child component and the parent component. Here we have a button which is calling the increment method and passing the value to the child component, and here we have the receiver, that is values from input. And you can see we have not used any chain detector strategy in the child component, and it is default chain strategy is getting used over here. And when we use the chain detector strategy default, then we have the application phase and the chain detector phase. The application phase is responsible for updating the model, and in second phase the chain detector should start from the root component to travel all the component of the tree event that are seems to be modified after detecting some change of the template, and the DOM is getting updated. We are using the default strategy over here. When we are clicking on the button, then it is simply calling the increment method, that is adding some values to the array, and it is getting reflected in the child component, and we are displaying the value with the help of a structural directive. These are some hooks that we have already added, so we don't need these hooks. We will use only ng on changes and ng do check for our example. Let me run the application, and clicking on increment, it is adding the value to the array and displaying it in the UI. So we can see on ng on changes and ng do check should be getting called when we are loading the first time that particular route. When I am clicking on increment, it is calling parent ng do check and then child ng do check. So this is how it is calling in sequence. And when we first time coming to that particular component, then it is calling the ng on changes also. So when this ng on changes is getting called, because we are just pushing the value in the array, we are not changing the reference. As soon as the reference is getting updated, then ng on changes will be called. Suppose that I am passing a new reference by simply creating the array, the new array, with the help of concat, and with the help of this concat method we are getting the new array reference, and when the values will get the new reference, then it will simply reflect on ng on changes. Child component will get to know that ng on changes need to be triggered. So first time it is calling, and when we are clicking again it is calling ng on changes. So this is how the default change strategy works in Angular component, and we can see how ng2 check works on changing of any value. In our next video, we will learn about on push strategy. Thank you so much.